peoples, and I've said that because I was being sexist by saying hello ladies, so it's going to be hello peoples from now on. So peoples, what we're going to show today is the importance of when you're eye styling to not only eye style and know where your lengths are going, but to also know which direction that you have to place your lashes in. So we're always talking about how to create perfect uniformity on a set, but it's just as important to know how to place your lashes to create a certain effect. So what we're going to start off with is if you had a very, let's say, lazy eye, or maybe like a very wide eye, you'd probably want to position your lashes quite straight, okay, so that they would actually come from here and come almost sort of outwards, if that makes sense. So they'd come upwards, okay, in order to draw the illusion of the eye going upwards and opening the eye up. Whereas if you had sort of maybe like a very narrow eye, okay, what you want to do is start drawing the eye outwards, so out this way. So you'd need to then start positioning the lashes so they flick outwards, 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 and then sort of straight in the middle, and then in a corner going out that way, okay. So not only, like I said, is it important to know what style and what lengths you use, but it's also important to know what direction that you need to be putting your lashes in to create that look, okay. So, you know, just because, let's say for example, if you wanted to do like a cat flick and you really wanted to elongate the eye, you'd really drag these lashes out this way, okay. But maybe if they wanted a cat flick but their eyes were slightly wide apart, then you'd still, you know, put your lash lengths here, but you wouldn't angle it out quite so much this way. You would just bring it, you know, slightly sweeping like that, okay. Whereas, like I said, if your eyes were quite droopy, maybe they were quite wide set, you'd angle the lashes straight forward like that in order to create the illusion of the eye being more open and drawing it upwards rather than outwards. So this is how I'm going to show you how you go about positioning your lashes in order to create like a, you know, a nice outward sweep, I suppose it would be. And Fiona did a lovely picture of one of these. I can't remember what client it was on, but it was almost like a black and white picture with a blue eye, I think it was, or something, and the lashes really swept outwards, and she did like a cat effect and a D curl, I think, and you know, she'd really positioned the lashes outwards so you could actually see what we meant by position outwards. So this is what we're going to do, okay. So we've got our glue, we're going to go in and we're going to place, because everything wants to go this way, I'm going to attach to the right hand side of the extension, and then once I've got my base on, now I can work my angle, okay. So I've got my sweep going out towards the outer corner, and you probably can't see it so much from there, but if I turn the head round to go straight, you can probably see how much of a sweep we've got, but I'm going to turn it back like this because of the angle that I'm working at. So we're going to do that exactly the same again. So we're going to go in here, take the excess off a little bit. I'm going to place it on the right hand side, remember, of the natural lash, and then I position it to where I want it. I hold it, and I'm lining up this gap between these two, so I'm making sure there's always a parallel gap running up. So when I turn it that way, as you can see, it's completely parallel, and I'm following the sweep. Do exactly the same again, okay. But this time, let's say I want a really wide eye, I'm not going for an all over sweep. I'm going to angle this lash, but I'm not going to angle it quite as wide. So I'm actually starting to straighten it, because of what I want to do, and it looks weird from that angle, it almost looks like I've put it that way. But if I turn it that way, can you see how I've now started to straighten this lash? Because what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do straight lashes in the middle, and then I'm going to angle these ones out these ways. So I'm going to give you the best of both worlds. I'm going to show you how to create an outer corner flick to elongate the eye, and also how to put them out this way to actually make a closed set eye appear much wider on a client. Almost like when you look at a strip lash when a person opens their eye, you get those lashes that from in the inner corner push that way, and then they get that beautiful bit that goes over the top, and then that outer corner flick outwards. So that's what we're going to create, okay? So I'm going to keep going. So those 12mm, by the way. Now I'm going to use an 11mm and put that there. So 11mm in the middle, and again I'm straightening it up a little bit more, and it does look weird for you, but if I spin it again, you'll see that I've started to straighten it. Turn it back my way. So this middle one is going to be straight as well. And actually you can see a lot of times I don't actually isolate with two tweezers. I pull a lash out the side and I'll stick it on the opposing side. It's because I'm lazy, I suppose it is. I'm lazy, I don't mind admitting it, but my isolation is clean. It's a really simple way of doing it and it works for me. So turn that back round and you can see that now my set is starting to get straight. I'm going to keep these straight for a little bit longer, otherwise I'm going to have a really weird looking inner corner flick. And at this stage, because these lashes are going straight, it doesn't really matter where you attach them, top, side, bottom, whatever, it doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to start creating a little bit of a sweep towards the left hand side. So I'm attaching to the left hand of the lash, and I'm just starting to just change my angle ever so slow or slightly. Can you see by that? See? Okay, let's grab some 9mm now. We're going towards the inner corner. Attach it to the left side because my lashes are sweeping out towards the left. So as long as I get that base on first of all, that's all I care about. And now I can start pushing my lashes in the direction that I want them to go. Exactly the same. You know, and this is an extreme sweep. Okay, this is if I want to make the eye appear wider than it actually is. You know, some clients you might not want to be doing this on because it might just make them look really strange. Let's grab an 8mm. 8mm, all of these are currently in a C curl. 8mm is a B curl because we know what happens to inner corner. The lashes are very flat and C curls in 8mm come up very curly. And then we're going to push that towards the inner corner. So again it looks weird from there, but if I turn it round, can you see now how I've got that beautiful sweep going like that, like that? So when that client opens her eye, she's not going to have lashes that just stick up in the air, which actually if she had a very lazy eye that's what you want, but with this illusion she's going to have a lovely lashes that come out here, go all the way across. I call it like the countdown clock that we have in the UK, where it goes do 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 do, like so. So my little countdown clock. And then we start again and we keep filling the gap. So we're going to go back to our 12. Remember, we got to go on the right hand side because the lash is going to go towards the right. We would struggle to cross over. So if I placed it on the left and tried to move it to the right, well, common sense dictates that that isn't going to work. Let's grab another 12. Let's go and fill a gap. And I might not be working in zones here, but I just want you to get an idea of what it is that we're doing. Let's grab an 11, go in the middle of this gap here. Let's come from underneath that one. Let's plop him underneath. He's going straight up towards the sky because he's in the middle of the lash line. Right, let's grab a 10. Let's go in here and fill a little gap. So we're still pretty much going straight. Oh, I've held that a bit strange. I've kinked me tip, but hey ho. Let's grab a 9. We're going to start getting a little bit of an angle going back on with these ones, because what I'm checking for all the time is to make sure that I've always got a lovely parallel gap as much as I can through all of these. Okay, can you see? And this is what's going to create your uniformity. You've got to line these lashes up against each other. I don't care what these natural lashes do, you know, in reality these natural lashes are not going to be like this. They're going to go and go all over. but it's these extensions that you've got to keep this parallel line all the time between them, and that is what is going to help you create that uniformity. And everybody absolutely loves uniformity, and that is the reason why, you know, my business actually became quite successful, I think, because my work was very, very uniformed, whereas a lot of my competition, their lashes are very messy. People don't want messy lashes, people want nice looking lashes, you know, and it does take a while to work on that and to get the lashes uniformed. I do not like that one, he's got to come off, to get the lashes uniform. But if you do work on it, you know, you will get there eventually. It just takes practice, like anything that comes to lashing. Let's get him on the left side. Got something stuck on my tweezers there. Doesn't like that. And it happens. It's just life. Do we care? No, we don't. Just grab another and we go again. Let's get our 8mm. And you can see I'm a little bit of a blob grabber, okay? Because of the way in which I choose to lash, I actually pick up and then I isolate. By grabbing a blob, it just gives me a little bit more time to faff around. If I can't find a lash, it just means that I know that my glue is still going to be wet if I decide to take the excess off. I know that I've got, you know, fresh glue underneath that blob. Probably a bad habit, but it's a habit that I do and it does work for me, so I will continue to do it, because there is no right or wrong way to lashing. People will tell you there is. Oh no, you've got to do it this way, you've got to do it that way, so and so does it this way, you've got to do it that way. You haven't. Do whatever you want, as long as you always perform correct isolation and you never overload the natural lash. You can do whatever you want. If you want to lash standing on your head with one arm behind your back and you do it safely, you go for it. If you want to throw lashes at her from the other side of the room but can get them on without overloading the natural lash and performing correct isolation, you do it. That's what creates new techniques. I can't see that one actually coming in somehow, but hey ho, you never know. And that is how you create the illusion of whatever you want. So if you want an eye to look wide, you angle your lashes out that way. If you want it to look more close together, you will angle them straight up. If you wanted a dramatic sweep, you would start sweeping, you know, you'd probably have straight lashes here, and then you would start quickly taking your angle and sweeping it out that way. So just remember, it's all about the angles that you place your lashes at, in addition to how you zone your effects and the lengths that you use as well. So there's a lot to think about, and when you put it like that, you actually realise how good we are at what we do and how specialist we are at what we do, and why we should be charging the higher prices than our local competition. But it's important that you tell your clients that. And how do we tell them? By the use of social media and online. So it is important that you actually spell this out blatantly, the reason why you charge what you do and why people should come and see you, because the techniques that you use are more advanced than your local competition, and I have no doubt that all of you on this site are on it because you want to be a lash specialist and you have to sell yourself, okay? So, you know, any product, any new car that comes out, Jaguar will tell you why you should buy their car, because it's so much better than Mercedes, because Jaguar has a panoramic roof or something like that. And that's what you have to sell your lashes as, okay? All of these sort of things are going to help you sell your lashes. You just got to explain it to your own clients. So I hope you enjoyed that. And as we have got a competition running at the moment of posting this, you know, this is all the sort of stuff that you can use in your competition to you know, help you style your eyes. So oh, there we go. Best of luck with that, and hope you enjoyed that.